Welcome to the Chancellor's video blog. I'm Dr. Bruce Leslie, Chancellor of the Alamo Colleges. I'm a little bit in the shadows here because we wanted to emphasize this table that we have on the wall behind me. We're calling it the Then and Now. This reflects the progress of the Alamo Colleges and our student success agenda over the last 10 years from 2006 until 2016. The most amazing thing has happened here at the Alamo Colleges over those years. We've developed a culture that's focusing on outcomes, focusing on data and understanding what's happening to our students, focusing on collaboration, particularly across all 5 of our Alamo Colleges, where 10 years ago, each of those colleges was acting very independently. Faculty didn't know each other from across. But meanwhile, our students were often attending more than one Alamo College at the same time. We call them our swirling students. And over the years, that group has grown where we have about 8,000 or 9,000 students, depending on the semester, taking courses at more than one of the Alamo Colleges in any particular semester, and certainly over their time with us. They might start in one college, but the major program that they're pursuing is at a different college, and so eventually they'll transfer over to that other college. But this culture of collaboration, of focusing on outcomes, has had a huge, huge impact. So I want to congratulate the faculty and the staff, the other administrators, certainly the executive team, and most importantly, the Board of Trustees, who have set the policies that have defined the strategic direction that we have pursued and the best practices that we have created here at the Alamo Colleges. Those policies are built around what we call the Alamo Way. The first one is student success. The second is principle-centered leadership, which addresses leadership of not only all of our employees, so that it's not just the senior team that's the leaders, but everybody in the organization assumes and asserts a certain leadership role in their work, but also for our students. And we're preparing students to learn leadership skills and become leaders in the community when they leave. And then the last one is performance excellence. We use the Baldrige program, as you've heard, and that's about making it more efficient for students to be successful coming in and through and out and on to and through university into employment, and also about saving money, because the more money we can save internally, given all the cuts in state support, then the more money we have for our students and for our program. So let me give you a few of the highlights here. Over these 10 years, enrollment has grown, as you can see up here, from 50 to almost 60,000 students. That's about a 19% increase. But at the same time, our degrees awarded has grown from 3,700, and it was flat for years here. About 37, eventually got up to about 4,000 shortly after I arrived here. But look at this. We set our wildly important goal this year to be 10,500 degrees and certificates awarded. We actually achieved 12,003. So that is a huge accomplishment. That actually exceeds next year's target of 11,500 onto the target for 2018, on our way to our 2020 target of 13,300 degrees awarded. This is a 1,000% greater increase in degrees awarded than in enrollment growth. So this is in no way a factor of just more enrollment and therefore the same percentage of students earning degrees. This is a 1,000% increase. And here's some other data I want to share with you. This is really important for us and for our community. Hispanic students' degree awards have increased 226%, even more than the overall percent increase in awards. African American students have increased 134%. Male students, and there's always been a gap between performance of females and males in higher education. We're dramatically closing that gap. Males increased 197%, females 117%, and so the lines are converging where males are doing as well as females generally at the Alamo Colleges. We also focus on our veteran students, and they have increased their degrees by 116%, and our economically disadvantaged students. It's a key part of our service population, part of our mission to empower our diverse communities for success. Their degrees have increased 122%. These are generally Pell eligible students at the Alamo Colleges. Now you can see in these numbers that we've had a retention rate has improved. The 3-year and the 4-year graduation rates, which are a function of the 224 overall, have improved dramatically. Productive grade rate, that's a C or better. So our students are doing better in the classroom, in their learning activity. The faculty working very, very diligently to help students stay in class, complete the class, and get a C or better. Course completion rates are going from 80 to 92%. That's a 15% improvement. What I'm really also pleased with is that our bond rating. I don't know any other higher education institution that has a AAA rating from both Moody's and Standard & Poor's. It's often that a college or university will have a AAA rating from one of those two agencies, but not from both. And again, the more we're able to create those performance efficiencies, the less it costs the taxpayer and the student to come to the Alamo colleges, then the greater the chances that they're going to have a successful experience, and we can reinvest money into our programs, into improving those programs, than in the other kinds of costs that we have to deal with. Another factor of that, by the way, is that we've reduced our employment numbers, which also includes benefits, from 72% to 65%. That's a 10% decrease. Remember, in 2010, we had to make major cuts in our operations because of dramatic reductions in state funding. We made it a purpose for us not to lay anybody off, not to furlough, not to cut anybody's salaries, and we were very successful in doing that. No one ever got laid off here. No one had their salaries cut here. We found other jobs. We found other ways to help our employees go through this process. And as a result, we've reduced overall costs for employment, which again allows us to invest more money into our students and programs. And then finally, our foundation has been enormously successful. We've gone from a corpus of about $5 million to over $20 million. That's a 290% increase. So our employer community, our civic community has rallied around to provide more contributions to the foundation. That means more scholarships, and we know from our own research, as well as national research, that students with a scholarship are more likely to finish, and that contributes to our WIC. So overall, the faculty, staff, administrators, even students who are involved in these programs have really brought about a huge amount of success. This is the fastest growth of degrees awarded in the state of Texas, and maybe among the very fastest and largest in the entire United States. So thank you for joining the Chancellor's video blog. Help us celebrate these wonderful accomplishments. And by the way, this is just our new base. We intend to continue to grow from here. Thank you very much for joining us.